Good morning. Good morning. I am waiting for individuals to come in, participants to come in right now. And we are recording right now. Perfect. So the systems are all a go. I'm going to chat a little bit. We offer this, this is our very first Motivational Monday. And then after that, what we will be able to do is that we will offer this on the website, on the chamber website, so that in our recorded area, so that if you were not able to join us today in person, we communicate this out, or if you want to join at another time and watch it, you certainly can do so. If you have questions while this is going on, you are able to chat with me. And I know I'm going to be moving right along with everybody else. So if I don't get back to you right away, please just hold on. We will get to you before the end of the session. This is going to be at about an hour in length, and we are really so excited to be getting this. Lindsay, do you want to kick off and share with us who you are at the YMCA and also who your partner is with you behind? I can see.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. We're happy to be here. My name is Lindsay Mcmullen. I'm the Health and Wellness Director and Healthy Living Director at the Downtown YMCA. So if you've had a chance to come down and see our location on Washington Ave, we're located right across the road from the Howard. It's a beautiful location. I encourage you to drive by and come get a tour sometime and come say hi. Behind me is Amanda Mellon. She is my Health and Wellness Coordinator here at the Downtown YMCA. So we're going to go half and half with the Motivational Monday today. I'm going to be focused on the breathing, the movement aspect of it. And Amanda is going to take over the last half hour, and we're going to talk about some healthy living, nutritional things. So she's going to be talking about portion sizes, serving sizes, and she might even have a surprise recipe for us too. So if, so we got a lot of options for you. So kind of the nice half and half of movement based, and we know nutrition is such an important part of healthy living. So we're going to cover that today. So we can open that up to questions anytime, but maybe the nutritional areas where people have some questions. So again, so for today, we're going to be focusing on some movement. It's not going to be an exercise class, so I don't want anyone to feel like I'm going to get super sweaty and have to sit in sweaty clothes for the rest of the day. This is going to be movement based, but we also know that movement is very important for productivity. Focusing on relaxing our shoulders, we're going to focus on that. We're going to focus on deep breathing and move into some kind of dynamic movements. You can always go at your own pace. I'll always show some modifications. I'm going to throw in a little balance in there too. But all about movement, all about breathing to really jumpstart your Monday. And then Amanda will kick it off with the second half hour. Okay. All right. So, so very happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. We're going to start in the seated position. I'm going to move my chair back just a little bit. So wherever you are, if you're in your office, in your cubicle, in your home office, or if you're watching this later, we're just going to focus on some deep breathing. So I just want to encourage you to relax those shoulders. Maybe silence your phone, silence your email, hopefully for the next half hour here. And let's just take some deep breaths in. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to do about 5 of these here. Trying to slow down the pace of our day, focusing on our breathing. One more here, then we're going to start. We're focusing on our neck and shoulders. Again, hopefully shoulders are down and relaxed. Let's just rotate the neck nice and slow to the side. Should feel a nice stretch here. Again, deep breathing all the way through. All right, to the other side. All right, bring the neck back to center. Let's look down in front. A nice gentle stretch here. Again, maintaining that breathing throughout. All right, and up towards the ceiling. Get a nice stretch here. If any of these are uncomfortable, just shorten up that range of motion. Just listen to your body and modify as we go. All right, side to side. So just take your neck And let's stretch a little bit down the side here. Okay, other side. All right, let's finish it off with a circle. So side, back. Again, a lot of times we carry tension in our neck and shoulders. So even if this is something that you really like and can add this into a daily routine, let's go the other direction. Nice way to relieve some of that tension that we build up in our shoulders. All right, so speaking of the shoulders, let's get them moving just in some small circles here. Again, getting some of those muscles to relax as we're moving them here. All right, let's go the other way with those shoulders. Again, hopefully just kind of push some of that tension out. All right, we're gonna move this motion down to our arms. So just taking those arms out to the side. Let's just start with some circles. You may have to give yourself a little room here. Again, keeping those shoulders down and back all the way through. We're just gonna start with our head and move our way down, focusing on our shoulders now. All right, let's go the other direction. Again, sometimes the word exercise can be intimidating for some people, so I like to focus on movement and breathing, which again is very important. Maybe some of us are just getting back into exercise here. Maybe we haven't come back to a facility or a regular gym yet. So this is a great way to just get movement in the body. And again, add a little jump start to the kind of gloomy Monday we have here. All right, let's open up. So back behind you, you're gonna get a nice stretch in the chest here, and then reaching forward, kind of like you're bringing those hands together for a big air hug. We're just gonna go back and forth here. We're gonna stay seated for some of these exercises. We're gonna be standing. Get a nice combination here for you today. All right, let's do one more. Back and forward. Good. Still working on those shoulders. We're going to reach up and over. Again, whatever range of motion is comfortable for you, just listen to your body and modify as you need to. Just side to side here. Again, we're deep breathing like we did in the very beginning. That's going to be fundamental all the way through these motions. Okay, one more each side. And good. Let's take it into a big circle. So maybe come to the edge of your chair so you have a little bit more room. Reaching down and then up and stretch. So you may not always have time to do a full workout in your day, but just a nice midday movement break here can be a really good jump start. All right, you can interlock those fingers and let's press them out in front. You should be feeling a stretch kind of in your mid-back area. Then you can bring that back in and relax. And again, reaching forward. We spent a lot of time at the desk. A lot of these muscles get tight from typing and different things, so we'll stretch them out here for you. Okay, one more. Very nice, very nice. All right, again, a couple of shoulder rolls. Just again, getting them to relax a little bit. Very nice. All right, we're gonna go to the standing position. So you can still keep your chair right next to you if you need to, but we're just gonna go to a standing position. All right, so give yourself a little room here, but we don't require a lot. But let's start with, so again, we've got our shoulders. We're gonna focus on our torso and our core a little bit here. So you can get your feet right underneath you, about hip width. We're gonna start with really small, focused trunk rotations. Doesn't have to be anything too big. Again, just moving, getting the blood flowing. Again, if this irritates your back, just shorten up that range of motion. If this is feeling good and you want to extend it, extend that arm out to the side. And other side, we're just gonna go back and forth here.
One for those of us that golf and stuff, this would be
absolutely
like a good part of the warm-up.
That is a great golfing warm-up. You are correct. Yep. I don't golf. I just do the mini golf. That's about it. Yeah, I love that. That's great. All right, we're working down to our hips. So let's start with a marching here. So if this is where you need to hang onto your chair, go ahead. Again, just focus on the movement. A nice dynamic stretch. I like that. If you want to add in a little knee hug there, it's a little more balanced, but I like that. Good, back and forth, good job. Again, going at your own pace. All about the movement here. And good. All right. I'm going to have you get your chair in front of you for this one. I'm going to have you step back, and you're actually going to keep your back leg straight. So you're going to get a little stretch here in your hip flexors. You're going to hold that for a second, and then come back and other side. So if we do a lot of sitting between working at in the office or working at home, whatever the setting may be, it's really good to get these hip flexors stretched out. So just back, keeping that back leg straight. All right, we're stepping back and forth here, getting a hip flexor stretch.
Had to move, Lindsay, otherwise I have a roll chair. It would have been really interesting.
That makes it more challenging if you have a roll.
Yes. For those that are doing this with us or later on, that would have been an interesting recording. See the chamber lady go down.
No, that does make it more challenging. Good. Let's add in the abdominals with that stretch. So I'll show you from two different angles. So you're still taking that same step back. Now your arms are going to reach up and back. So you're going to stretch the abdominals and then also stretch the hips. So that's the angle from the front. I'll show you what it looks like from here. All right, step back, reach up and back. Yeah, it'll be best to have a chair that doesn't have wheels on it. It's
like having Lucy do exercises with you.
One more each side. Again, very important to stretch out these muscles here from our hips into our abdominals. Again, we are guilty of doing a lot of sitting, even here at the YMCA. So it is nice if anybody has adjustable desks. I highly recommend that you work in maybe half an hour seated, half an hour standing. It is so good for the core, so good for your back, and it helps prevent the over tightness of these muscles, which, we do a lot of sitting between working in the office, driving if anybody has a long commute. So really think about stretching those muscles out and trying to work in some standing time too at the desk or at the office. All right, let's go opposite of that. So we're gonna reach down and we're gonna target our hamstrings here. So I'll show you from both angles. We're gonna reach down, kind of like we're touching our toes, and then stand back up. So you wanna keep your legs mostly straightened out here. Reaching down, touching the toes, coming back up. You should feel a really good stretch down the back of the legs. All right, let's work that stretch. If you can make it down to your knees, that's perfect. Okay, go with what your body will allow. Again, we're adding in the up and down motion, so just be careful. Don't want to get dizzy or lightheaded. Nice dynamic stretch here. We'll grab water after this exercise, but good. All right, last one, reach down, touch the toes. And very nice. All right. Now's the time, grab a little water if you want to. And we're gonna continue with the hip exercises here in a second. All right, so we're still standing. Got the chair next to you, or maybe it's the corner of your desk, whatever you need to help balance. All right, we're gonna go up with the knee and open. Picture like you're stepping up and over maybe a fence, something like that. So we're gonna go up and over. Really good target one for the hips here. So back and forth, okay? Again, hang on if you need to. Back and forth, very good. There we go. Might be working up a little bit of a sweat anytime we get these large muscle groups involved. There's a lot of blood flow needed for these large muscles. So it's okay if the heart rate's getting up a little bit. Maybe just slow that pace down a little bit. Again, if you don't want to work up a sweat today, you don't have to. It's just about movement here. All right, one more. Each one.
From sitting all the time.
I think so. It does feel good. Yep. All right, good. Shake out the legs a little bit if you need to. And again, we're going to target those hamstrings again. All right. So this is where you may want to hang on to the chair again. And we're going to lift that leg up in front. We call these the toy soldiers. So it's kind of like you're walking like a toy soldier. Yep, there you go. And then if you want to reach out, touch the toes, gonna go back and forth. Again, if you want to hang on to a chair, that's perfect. Good, you should feel a really good dynamic stretch down the back of the legs. Working on those.
It's interesting how one side of your body, at least for me, how one side of my body, I seem to be able to reach higher with than the other.
Yeah. Yep, there may be areas that seem a little bit stronger. That's totally normal. All right, one more, each one. There we go. And good. We can rest there. All right, we are going to add in some upper body and lower body combinations now. So you may have to give yourself a little room. I'll try to make sure I stay in the frame. But we're gonna step to the side now. We're just moving side to side. So give yourself a little room in your office setup, wherever you're set up. We're just stepping side to side. So now we're gonna work the muscles on the outside of our hips. All right, back and forth. Again, go at whatever speed that you want to, just moving side to side. Very good. It's good to strengthen these muscles. Obviously, when we're walking up and down steps, we strengthen our quads and our glutes and our hamstrings. But if we're talking overall strength and fall prevention, we need to strengthen these lateral muscles. All right, one more each one. Then I'd like to add to it. All right, let's get the core and the upper body working with this one as well. So we're going to step to the side, and that arm is going to reach across, kind of like we did in our warm-up beginning part. So step and reach. Getting ready for the golf swings here. Again, step and reach. Just work with what's comfortable for your body. Don't overextend if that pulls on your back. You can even keep your arms in closer, and that will take some of that pull off your back. So just work with what's comfortable, side to side. Very good. One more, each one. Now we're getting some of these dynamic, complex movements here. So that heart rate might go up a little bit, and that's okay. All right, let's take that same idea, make sure I got enough room here, and we're gonna step back. So this is where a little bit of that balance comes in, because a huge part of our balance is our eyesight. So when we can't see what's behind you, then you have to really trust your body on that balance. So stepping back and then coming back up. And then alternate, we'll go right and then left. So have that chair close if you need to, but we're gonna go back and forth. Trust that you're gonna keep yourself balanced. That's how we build that strength and stability with the balance. Good job. Back and forth here.
Lindsay, when should you start adding weights at all? And if you would, how much should you, just as you're just trying to get going at this?
That's a great question. Usually I think once you feel pretty comfortable doing the motion and you're like, hey, I can rock this for this is not challenging for me, then you can add in some weights. And I would say, 2 or 3 pounds is really good, a good starter weight. And that can be water bottles, that can be soup cans, that can be a book, and a couple of books in your hands. I always joke about just grab the cat, grab the cat at home. I know my cat would not. You
have a very understanding cat.
No, she hates it. I'm just kidding. But you get the idea. You don't always have to go out and buy weights. You can just use what you have at home to add in some difficulty to it. So that's a great question. You don't always have to add in weights themselves. It can be just weights that you have at home. Like I said, soup cans work really well. Water bottles, the gallon of milk. That's a great. I think that's a pretty good weight if it's full. So even just look in the kitchen, find some things that you have. Those are great things to add in. So, all right, let's add to that. So now we're stepping back. Okay. And now our arms are out to the side and we're going to reach. We're going to go right hand down to our left knee. It's kind of like Twister here. Okay. I'm going to make you think. So step, opposite hand to that opposite knee. And we're just going to go back and forth here. Now we're throwing in a little more balance here. So step back and reach. Good. Again, if you want to limit that, just bring your arms in a little bit. You don't have to reach as far if that's pulling on your back. May have injuries, surgeries, different things. So just listen to your body. But again, now we're getting that back to move a little bit, which is good. All right, one more each one. There we go. Good. We'll take a break here. And these are great exercises. I always tell some of my clients and members that we work with, these are great to do if you have like kitchen counter in front of you, or maybe a railing, something that you can hang on to, because then you have that reassurance of, if I feel like I'm going to stumble, I can grab that railing really fast. And that helps build confidence. So once you feel like, hey, I can do this without needing the railing, that's a good indicator that, hey, I can make this a little more challenging. And usually,
how long should you be doing it, Lindsay?
I would say a couple weeks in length, but usually 30 seconds, 45 seconds at a time is perfect. So I like to just set up a little timer, and I'll go for about 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds, and then I'll move on to another exercise. So that's enough time for your body to kind of work on that exercise. And then we'd like to change it up and work on a different muscle group. But if you consistently do that, it doesn't have to be every day, but if you do that a couple times a week, your body's going to become accustomed to it and kind of, just get stronger with each time that you do that exercise. And then that's a great way. Hey, I feel good with this. I'm going to add in some weights. So yeah, good questions. All right. All right. We're going to go into we're going to go sit to stand to start. So for this first one, go ahead and grab your chair back.
So do you want the chair with the rollers or without?
I was going to say, grab a chair that doesn't have rollers on it. You do need to have a solid chair. That's a good question. Oh, that's a good question. All right,
you got to have some fun.
I love it. Movement and exercise and laughter. It's all good for us. It's all good for us. Yep. It's okay to laugh at work. You can laugh at work. You can laugh when you're exercising. That's what it's about. All right, we're going to go sit to stand off of our chairs. Now, our tendency is mine doesn't have arms, but our tendency is to push off those arms and stand up. So let's start with that if you need to. But what I'm going to challenge you to do is really press in your heels and stand up kind of unassisted without using the arms on your chair. Okay, we're just going to go up and down. And then nice and slow on the way back down. Again, really press in your heels. Good. I like what you're doing where your hands are in front. But if you need to, you can. But I want you to really learn to engage the quads, those big leg muscles for your sit to stand. There you go. All right, we're just going to do 2 more, okay? There you go. And good. Sit to stand can be done anywhere. Can be done kitchen chair, off the couch, really anywhere. Such a good functional exercise. All right, so let's take that same concept. The chair is out of the way. We're going to go into our squat. So picture that the chair is behind you, but it's not there now. So you're going to go into the squat, just like you're going to sit in that chair and then stand back up. So now take that same concept without the chair there. Good. That's one of the most beneficial ways, I think, to teach the squat or that sit to stand, because that is such a functional action that we do multiple times a day. Good. Okay, 2 more. All right, I always like to add on, let's make it more functional into that squat. Now, as you stand up, you're going to raise one knee up. All right, it's a little balance, a little coordination, and we're going to alternate. We're going to go right and then left. So if you need that chair in front of you, now is a great time to grab it. So up and up. Good. You got to really engage those core muscles as we go side to side. Good job. So we talk about maybe one hip feels a little bit stronger than the other. Maybe we've had a surgery on one, an injury on one. This is a great way to isolate the right versus the left. That way those are strong together. And that's going to help with our overall strength, balance, fall prevention, all of those things that we need. Good. And whew, good. All right. Nice. Okay, couple more exercises, then we get to switch over to the healthy nutritional aspect in the kitchen with Amanda. So just about done here. All right, we're gonna go.
And if any of y'all have some questions, if you want to chat in, I am more than happy to ask Lindsay for you.
Yep, that sounds good. Sounds good. All right, as promised, we're gonna do a little balance. So if you need that chair, again, not that close, we're going to go with a single leg stand, just the way it sounds. So my right foot is down, my left knee is up. You can see that from this angle. Now I'm going to just hold that. I'm going to focus on the balance from this position. So the foot that's on the ground, the ankle is going to be moving, and that's perfectly normal. That's what we want. All right, so once you got that down, we're going to just fly our arms here side to side, and that's going to add a little bit of a balance challenge. There you go.
I'm trying to get it so people can see my feet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of all right. So what you're saying then is that we're lifting one up.
Exactly, and you're holding that. Yep. Exactly. So you should feel the foot that's on the ground. You're going to feel that ankle moving as it's stabilizing and balancing. That's exactly what we're looking for. Right. Whew. All right. Go ahead. Shake that leg out. We're going to obviously balance that out. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Left foot is down or other foot's down. Other knee is up.
You're right. I have to hold on that one. That's interesting.
That's okay. And like I said, there's going to be one that feels stronger than the other. That's completely normal. For me personally, I had a bad injury on my right foot, so I'm still actually getting that strength back. So that's completely normal for one side to feel stronger than the other. That's why we do exercise like this. As silly as it may look, it's very good for that balance and for that stability. Okay, one more. There we go. Good. All right, last exercise, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Amanda. Just more or less just a nice stretch here. So we worked the quads. We did a lot of squats and step ups or stands, things like that. So let's grab that chair. As long as you're comfortable, go ahead, bend that knee. Grab your foot behind you, and then bring that foot to your bottom, and that will stretch out your quad here. We're going to stretch here about 10 seconds, and then we'll switch to the other side. Okay. This might be a little bit tougher if you have khakis on or dress clothes, but it's a good stretch.
That's why, friends, I'm volunteering to do this one, and I didn't make anybody else show. All the folks that are going to watch this as a recorded version, they're going to go, yeah, that crazy chamber lady.
No. That's great. That's great. All right. I hope you enjoyed the half hour of movement. Again, don't be intimidated by the word exercise. You could categorize this as exercise, but it's all about movement. It's all about our body is designed to move. There's a crazy amount of muscles and joints. That's why we spend 4+ years learning about the human body. So It's designed to move, and I hope today was a nice jump start for you. Again, it's all about movement. It's all about taking care of your body. And a lot of times it's just the way we started, right? Take time, slow down, relax your shoulders, focus on your breathing. And it's gonna hopefully help clear your mind and open up a really good, productive week for you. So thank you for joining on the Motivational Monday exercise movement portion. I'm gonna rotate the camera here, and Amanda Mellon is gonna take over and talk about healthy living in the nutritional aspect. So thank you.
And Lindsay, thank you so much. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the 12th joining us again.
Yes, that sounds great. Thank you.
And don't be too tough on that cat.
She always runs away.
So Amanda, what you got for us?
Hi, I have portion sizes today. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. What about everybody else? Can you chat in? And if anybody's having any difficulty, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that everybody's good. Okay.
All right, so you made it through some movement. That's fantastic. You're probably midway through the day. So now we're just going to move into a little bit more education based. So please, message for questions. I'll do my best to answer those questions. And if not, I would love to get back to you on them. But my name is Amanda. I'm the Health and Wellness Coordinator at the Oshkosh Downtown YMCA. We are currently in our teaching kitchen. So if you don't know what the teaching kitchen is, we do a variety of different things here, such as some workshops, some hands-on things. Our dietitian would meet you in here. We also have a lot of healthy recipes located right outside of the teaching kitchen. And I'll be showing you some of those today, and then you'll be able to get those later on if you choose. But yeah, today we're going to talk about portion sizes. I'm sure we all love thinking and talking about that because it's really important because just talking about it kind of gets you into that mindset of doing. So to begin, we're going to talk about portion distortion. So you might not know that word, but I bet you do know what it is. So over the past 20 years, portion sizes have tripled in size at restaurants. For example, if you go to your favorite restaurant, those sizes have tripled in size. That's a large amount. So our perception of portion sizes changed as to what is considered that normal portion size. So think of your favorite restaurant, maybe your favorite Italian restaurant. And even more so, think about your favorite dish. So maybe it's a plate of pasta and bread and a glass of wine or something like that. Those portion sizes in our head might seem normal, but that is a large portion. So yeah, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more in depth and what is the correct amount of food that you should be intaking daily. So all of my information is coming from choosemyplate.gov. So I encourage you to check that website out. It's a really great website with a lot of resources. If you have any questions, definitely look on there. So that is where that information is coming from. I also want to start by saying that everyone is different. So everyone is their own individual. They have their own height, their own gender, their own weight, whatever it might be. Maybe you're pregnant and breastfeeding. Everyone is very different. So these are, standard sizes. Yours might need to change, and I encourage you to consult with a dietitian or your doctor or whatever if you more in-depth questions. Okay. So to begin, I'm gonna get up nice and close, and we're gonna talk about the plate. So I have a plate here. And I'm going to kind of put my hand up to it so you can see the size of the plate, because this is considered that normal size. So it's actually pretty small compared to what you might have in your home. It's pretty small compared to what I have in my home. I did measure it. It's 9 inches in diameter. So I will encourage you to go home and measure your plate. And the reason I love this is because
when you put food on it, it actually makes it seem like you have more food on there than you really do. Whereas if you have your big, 12-inch plate, you'll be able to fit more and then therefore eat more. So I encourage you to use that smaller plate in general to get started. So yeah, then I'll kind of get a little bit closer and talk about the portions on it. So you can see this top half here is your fruits and vegetables. So that is going to be half of your plate. Then from there, we have grains. That is 1/4 of your plate. And we have protein, another 1/4 on this side. And in the middle, you can see oils. So we'll kind of talk about that later, but oils, mayonnaise, dressing, that's what that little portion would be. And then also not pictured is going to be dairy. So milk, yogurt, or things like that. So yeah, there is that.
Now, Amanda, why isn't, as a good Wisconsinite, why isn't dairy on there?
So it is on there. It's gonna be when you go on choosemyplate.gov, you'll see it on there. It's just not pictured on the plate that we have here.
Oh,
Yep, yeah, but it is on there, and we'll talk about.
come on, we got to get that cheese in.
That's very important. No, it is. You'll also find on that website when they talk about dairy, it sounds like 90% of people do not have enough dairy in their diet. I was super shocked about that, but I was also like, well, we are in Wisconsin, so it might be a little variant there. But I thought that was interesting. So you should check that out on their page. Anyways, yeah, let me know if you have questions. So we're gonna get going into each food group now. So we're gonna start with our grains. So grains are any foods made up from wheat, rice, oats, cornmeal, barley, or another cereal cooked grain. So such as bread, pasta, breakfast cereals, and things like that. I'm going to compare all of these food groups to a household item. So right here, I'm holding up a baseball. And that is the recommended serving size of baseball. So about 1 cup of, let's say you're going to eat brown rice, baseball size, okay? I kind of like to do this because, I don't know, it puts it in perspective. I'm on my plate, oh, you guys can't see this. I'll move this up. I made a little plate of something that you could eat in your home. So right here I have my fruits and vegetables. I have an apple, beets, and then green beans. And then I have mashed potatoes here, and I have a pork chop here. So I put the mashed potatoes, which is about that baseball size. So I'll just hold those up, but just to give you guys kind of a close up there. So grains are divided into 2 subgroups, whole grains and refined grains. Whole grains contain the entire grain kernel. Example of whole grains include whole grain wheat flour, oatmeal, whole grain cornmeal, and brown rice. I love brown rice. Refined grains are something that has been milked, so a little bit more processed. That's going to be things such as things that will have a longer shelf life. So white bread, corn grits, white flour, white rice. So that's just the 2 differences. And then why do we eat grains? They have a lot of great nutrients such as iron, vitamin E. Okay. So make sure you're getting those grains in, those carbohydrates. I also wanted to talk about bread. So I was talking about earlier that you're fit at your favorite Italian restaurant. You have a whole plate of, let's say, I don't know, just spaghetti. And then on the side, you might have a roll. That's a lot of grains. So just kind of being aware of that, maybe asking, let's hold the piece of bread. I'll just have the spaghetti. And then if you could give me some green beans, don't be afraid to ask that at restaurants. Let's get moving on to protein. So another big one for us Wisconsinites is that protein. We tend to get a lot of protein. So household item is going to be a deck of cards. I also like to measure it on my palm. And then I also want to start by saying that it's just important to pay attention to the amount of fat in the protein. So 93% lean ground beef is a really great option. Pork loin, skinless chicken breast is a really great option. So that's going to be about the size of that deck of cards. I'll hold up the pork chop. And then if you're going to eat fish, if you like to eat fish, that size is going to be more relatable to a checkbook. So a little bit bigger, about double this size, whatever type of fish you're eating there. Most Americans eat enough from the protein food group, but need to select a leaner variety of meat and poultry. So you probably are getting enough protein, but the type of protein that you're eating might need to be changed a little. So think about maybe the lunch you're eating today or whatever it might be. And then I wanted to ask, do you spy any portion distortion at restaurants based off of this deck of cards? Probably, maybe not. All right, so we talked about grains, meats. I also wanted to add that beans is going to be a part of that meat protein portion, so any type of bean that you like to eat. And then we're going to move on to the half other portion of our plate, which is going to be fruits and vegetables. So we'll start with vegetables. That household item is going to be a baseball, again, a tennis ball. The more vegetables, the better, I would say, especially when you're going out to eat. You're probably not getting enough at those restaurants, if any at all. So 1 cup of fruits per serving, and then, vegetables. And then you can also count 100% vegetable juice as well. So V8 or, whatever it might be. Your vegetables can be raw or cooked, fresh, frozen, canned, it doesn't matter. Just get those vegetables in and make it colorful. So orange, green, red, whatever it might be. I'm going to be showing you guys a recipe that I really like to eat. We made it a couple weeks ago for a group we have here, and it got everything. So I'll show you guys that. And then also just wanted to talk about the benefits of eating vegetables. So it's a great source of potassium, iron if you're anemic or iron deficient. It's really great source. Eating those greens has a lot of iron in it. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and lots of phytonutrients. So lots of great benefits, which can lead to reduced risk of chronic diseases, okay? So we're gonna move on to fruits, which are in kind of combination. If you prefer one over the other, that's fine, try to get both. But fruits are still gonna be that 1 cup baseball, baseball size amount. And similarly to the vegetables, you want to get different colors in there, green, red, blue. Maybe just pick your favorite fruit and stick with that. And then you can also count dried fruits, but that's going to be half of the size. So don't eat a baseball size of dried fruits. The water in there is all taken out. So that would be about, like a golf ball size. So in conclusion with those two, just really important to eat the rainbow. I know we've all heard this as kids, but it's always just a good reminder. Really look at your plate and see, do I have different colors on here or is it all one? So
I have a question, Amanda. What is your take on the addition of vitamins to your diet?
yeah, so usually you want to be recommended by your primary physician or a doctor on which vitamins to be taking. But in my opinion, you can get a lot of the vitamins from the food that you're eating. So researching, okay, I'm low on iron. What foods can I eat more of that will help me get that iron in? It's really, really important to start with those whole foods, because those are truthfully the best vitamins that you can get. And then let's say you need a little added help. You're going to add in those minerals, vitamins. So good question. Really good question. Okay. So now we'll move on to our favorite dairy products. So consuming dairy products, cheese. Yeah, okay, let's call it the cheese portion. Yeah, so that includes yogurt, milk, cheese. But consuming dairy products provides health benefits, especially building and maintaining strong bones. So adolescents, kids, it's really important when they're younger to help develop those strong bones and continue to make that bone mass strong. Truly, it's so important. Those type of, so dairy can include calcium, potassium, vitamin D, and protein as well. Something I didn't really talk about was nuts, but that's another one. And then I also wanted to talk about hydration a little bit. So just drinking your water is super, super important. Let's see here.
How much water should we be drinking?
That's a really good question. So it depends on weight and height and any conditions that you might have, but generally around 3 cups of about 16 ounces would be great. So that's a lot of water. I really encourage you to leave a water bottle at your desk or just with you all day long and walk around. This looks like coffee, but it is water, I promise. But we always have water with us. And then, if I see someone else take a drink, I take a drink, or, whatever, just as much as you can. So important. That's a good question. Any others?
Actually, 16 ounces. I'm surprised if that's all we really need to be drinking. I always thought it was like, I don't know, 64.
Yeah, so 3 glasses of 16 ounces.
That's the part I didn't get. I just thought you said 16 ounces. I'm like, I am doing so well. I didn't know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you are. That's good though.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
At least you're drinking it, I will say. Yeah, I've heard a gallon before. That's hard. It's hard to get a gallon in a day, but I've heard that before too. So let's move on to fat or oils. So that was right in the middle of the plate that I was showing you. So that's gonna be your butter, your mayonnaise, and your tuna fish, or your dressing. And that's where I struggle the most, especially going to restaurants, because usually I'll ask for extra, or I'll use the entire container that they give you. This is a matchbook, for your matches. I've also heard people say like thumb size, which I would think is a little small, so probably your whole thumb size. But just use it sparingly. So don't feel like you have to cover your full salad. Your body will get used to the taste or the lack of taste that you're getting. And yeah, that's probably the only thing I would say about that. But you can see where that portion distortion comes from, especially in the dressing or oils. So just be
That's
mindful.
really, quite honestly, Amanda, that's amazing that you should be having a bowl of salad and only having a thumb size worth of dressing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot, does it? We're so used to these containers, and then a take-home container or whatever. So yeah, it'll be hard. Give it a try. Maybe add a little bit more if you need. Just being mindful of how much you are putting on. So, with that too, don't be afraid to ask, hey, can you give me half of the amount that you would normally give everyone else? And then that's all you get, I've met people who also order their food and say, can you put half of my meal in a to-go box and the rest on my plate, and then I'll eat that and take the rest home, which I think is a really, really cool thing to do. It's hard, but give it a try.
I've heard of the strategy where you get your plate. Now, when you said we're getting 3 times as much, that kind of blew me away. But I've seen it where you get your plate and you basically just divvy it in half,
Sure,
and then you eat that half.
Yeah. Start with half. I mean, that's great. Especially, usually when you're going out to eat, it's to celebrate or whatever. So, give that a try. And then talking about desserts, we can't leave dessert out, because it's gonna come up, celebrations or just to enjoy something. So I do have a piece of cake here, and how I would kind of determine how much you're gonna get. Try that deck of cards. So if you're gonna have a brownie, just try one brownie and the deck of cards. If you're gonna have ice cream, get a spoonful and just start with that. Just try 1 spoonful, move on. So just like with our fats, I would say use it sparingly, okay? And then we'll kind of talk about myplate.gov. What time is it?
It is 12:52.
Okay.
So we're just about at the end of our first session.
Awesome. Okay, we're getting there. So those resources, check out myplate.gov. On there, I'll bring up what I have.
This one is probably my favorite, and I just printed this straight off of their website. Create a grocery game plan, weekly calendar. So this is the calendar that they give you. They have every day on there. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And then you can just write it in there with some notes. And then the next page is another list. And I like this because normally we'd have, let's say dairy. We'd have all of this protein. Okay, where's our fruit? Where's our vegetable? And then you can actually see what you're lacking. Okay, so I kind of like that one as well. You can get that right off of their page. And then create your own MyPlate menu. At the bottom, they have tips. For example, include low-fat or fat-free milk or yogurt. Make half of your grains whole grains. And then you have to write it down and see if you stuck to those tips. So those are great resources to find on there.
Another thing quick I'll talk about is shopping on a budget. So I really encourage you to make that plan. So use the resources that you have and make a plan for the week so that you don't run out of food and then want to go to a fast food restaurant. And see what you already have. Write down your meals, list out recipes to try that you've always wanted to, make that grocery list, and then plan for your leftovers. So you have your serving size, you eat one of them, and you have the leftovers for the rest of the week or whatever it may be. And then we kind of already talked about controlling portion sizes on the weekend, so I won't talk about that. But I will talk about our recipes in the teaching kitchen. So I'll come up here again. If anyone wants these recipes, I'll just have you email me. I think the email is in the chat, and then you can just request these from me. But the first one is chicken and peach avocado salsa. So it's a chicken breast with peach and avocado salsa on top, which I absolutely love because you're getting your protein, your vegetables, and fruits. And then the other one is a mango salsa, which you can also do the chicken and mango salsa on top, which I love because you're going to get your mango, your bell peppers, your onions, and then also your grains with the chips that you might be using for your salsa as well. So those are two recipes
that I would send out if you wanted them.
You know what, Amanda, if you, I know Lindsay's is on there, but what if you just send them to me? And then what I will do is I'll send them out to the people that registered for the class.
Perfect. That sounds great. Okay.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, thank you for joining today.
Yep. Any questions at this point? Feel free to chat in. I don't see any at this point, so that means you did a fantastic job. Thank you both for our first one ever of our Motivational Mondays. We'll be doing this again on May, let me look. The next one is May 17th. So
Yay.
any thoughts as far as what's going to happen on May 17th? Or is it going to be a surprise? You're going to email me.
We'll let you know. We have the other half of our group, Ben W and Ben C will be co-leading that one. So we'll consult with the guys and see what they have planned, and we'll give you a heads up for sure.
That's great, and then I can get that out to everybody. So
and you can always send us questions too. Hey, we'd like to learn a little bit more about this. We'd like to see what we can do with this piece of office equipment that we have. How can we work in an exercise with it? Or even a little more specific on the nutrition side too. You can email us, and then we can put that into our presentation. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, ladies. This was great, and I appreciate you spending the noon hour with us. All right.
All right.
Okay. All righty. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.